What if you could see beyond the present moment? What if you had the power to shape your reality in ways you never thought possible? These questions might sound like science fiction, but they're actually at the heart of a powerful mental tool called four-dimensional thinking. In this video, we'll explore how mastering this art can revolutionize your life and open up new possibilities you never knew existed. Let's start by understanding what four-dimensional thinking really means. When we talk about dimensions, we're referring to the different aspects of our reality that we can measure and perceive. Most of us are familiar with three dimensions: length, width, and height. These are the physical dimensions we can see and touch in our everyday lives. But there's a fourth dimension that's just as important, yet often overlooked: time. Four-dimensional thinking involves considering all four of these dimensions: length, width, height, and time in our thought processes. It's about expanding our mental horizons beyond the here and now and considering how things change and evolve over time. This approach to thinking can have a profound impact on how we view the world and make decisions. Now, you might be wondering why adding time to our thinking is so important. Well, think about it this way. Every decision we make, every action we take, doesn't just affect the present moment. It ripples out into the future, shaping our reality in ways we might not immediately see. By incorporating time into our thought processes, we gain a more complete picture of the consequences of our choices and the potential outcomes of our actions. This way of thinking is quite different from how most of us usually approach problems and decisions. Traditional, three-dimensional thinking tends to focus solely on the present moment or the immediate future. It's like looking at a snapshot of a situation, rather than seeing it as a moving, evolving process. Four-dimensional thinking, on the other hand, allows us to see the bigger picture. It helps us understand how things are interconnected across time and how small changes now can lead to big effects later. Breaking free from linear thinking can be challenging, but the benefits are tremendous. When we limit ourselves to three-dimensional thought, we're essentially putting blinders on our minds. We might miss important connections, overlook potential problems, or fail to see exciting opportunities. By expanding our mental horizons to include the fourth dimension of time, we open ourselves up to a whole new world of possibilities. Let's consider how this applies to various aspects of our lives. In terms of personal growth, four-dimensional thinking can help us set more effective goals and create more meaningful change. Instead of just focusing on what we want to achieve right now, we can consider how our actions today will shape our future selves. This long-term perspective can motivate us to make better choices and stick to our commitments even when things get tough. In our careers, four-dimensional thinking can be a game changer. It allows us to anticipate trends, plan for future challenges, and position ourselves for success. Instead of just reacting to what's happening now, we can proactively prepare for what's coming next. This forward-thinking approach can give us a significant edge in a rapidly changing job market. Even in our relationships, four-dimensional thinking can make a big difference. It helps us see beyond current conflicts or issues and consider the long-term health of our connections with others. We can make decisions that not only feel good in the moment, but also contribute to building stronger, more meaningful relationships over time. So, how can we develop this skill of four-dimensional thinking? Like any mental ability, it takes practice and commitment. One effective technique is visualization. Try to picture not just where you are now, but where you want to be in the future. Imagine the steps you'll need to take to get there and how your current actions might affect that journey. This exercise helps train your mind to consider the time dimension in your thinking. Another helpful practice is mindfulness and present moment awareness. This might seem counterintuitive when we're talking about considering the future, but being fully aware of the present moment actually helps us make better predictions about what's to come. By paying close attention to what's happening now, we can pick up on subtle trends and patterns that might indicate future developments. Future projection and scenario planning are also valuable tools for developing four-dimensional thinking. Try to imagine different possible futures based on various decisions or actions you might take. This doesn't mean trying to predict the future exactly. That's impossible. Instead, it's about considering a range of possibilities and preparing yourself to adapt to whatever comes. Of course, adopting this new way of thinking isn't always easy. There are common obstacles that many people face when trying to think in four dimensions. One of the biggest challenges is our natural tendency to focus on immediate gratification. It can be hard to prioritize long-term benefits over short-term pleasures. Another obstacle is the uncertainty of the future. It can feel overwhelming to try to consider all the possible outcomes of our actions. To overcome these challenges, it's important to start small and be consistent in your practice. Try incorporating four-dimensional thinking into your daily decisions. For example, when you're deciding what to eat for lunch, consider not just what would taste good now, but how it might affect your energy levels later in the day, or your health goals in the long term. As you get more comfortable with this approach, you can apply it to bigger decisions and more complex situations. One of the most exciting aspects of four-dimensional thinking is its impact on creativity and innovation. When we consider how ideas and concepts change over time, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and connections. This can lead to breakthrough insights in all sorts of fields, from art and science to business and technology. By thinking beyond the constraints of the present moment, we can imagine solutions to problems that don't even exist yet. Now let's talk about how four-dimensional thinking can actually shape your reality. There's a strong connection between our thoughts and the outcomes we experience in life. When we think in four dimensions, we're more likely to make choices that align with our long-term goals and values. This can lead to positive changes in our lives that might seem almost magical to others. But it's not magic. It's the result of consistently making decisions with a broader perspective in mind. Integrating four-dimensional thinking into your daily routine doesn't have to be complicated. Start by taking a few minutes each day to reflect on your goals and how your current actions are contributing to them. Consider keeping a journal where you can explore different possible futures based on the choices you're making now. You might also find it helpful to regularly review your progress and adjust your plans as needed. Remember, the future isn't set in stone. Your four-dimensional thinking allows you to actively shape it. As you develop this skill, you'll likely start to notice its effects not just in your own life, but in the lives of those around you. Four-dimensional thinking can have a ripple effect, inspiring others to take a more thoughtful, long-term approach to their own lives. You might find yourself naturally becoming a source of wisdom and guidance for friends and family. Your ability to see the bigger picture can help create positive change not just for yourself, but for your entire community. It's important to remember that mastering four-dimensional thinking is a journey, not a destination. There will always be more to learn and new ways to apply this skill. The key is to stay curious, keep practicing, and be open to new insights and perspectives. As we wrap up, let's recap the key points we've covered. Four-dimensional thinking involves considering time alongside the three physical dimensions in our thought processes. This approach allows us to see beyond the present moment and make decisions that shape our future in positive ways. By practicing visualization, mindfulness, and scenario planning, we can develop this skill and overcome common obstacles. Four-dimensional thinking can enhance our creativity, improve our decision making, and ultimately help us create the reality we want for ourselves and others. Now it's your turn to start exploring the power of four-dimensional thinking. How might this approach change the way you view your current challenges or opportunities? What possibilities can you imagine for your future when you consider the dimension of time? We encourage you to start practicing these techniques in your daily life and see what changes you can create. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to shape your future. By mastering the art of four-dimensional thinking, you're taking control of your reality in a profound way. You're not just reacting to life as it happens. You're actively creating the life you want. As you continue on this path, stay open to learning and growth. Four-dimensional thinking is a powerful tool, but it's most effective when combined with other personal development practices. Consider exploring meditation, goal-setting techniques, or other mindfulness practices that can complement and enhance your four-dimensional thinking skills. It's also worth noting that while four-dimensional thinking can be incredibly beneficial, it's important to balance it with living in the present moment. Don't get so caught up in planning for the future that you forget to enjoy and appreciate what's happening right now. The goal is to use four-dimensional thinking as a tool to enhance your life, not to create anxiety or obsession about the future. One of the beautiful things about four-dimensional thinking is how it can change your perspective on challenges and setbacks. When you're able to see beyond the immediate moment, you can view obstacles as temporary and even as opportunities for growth. This resilience can be incredibly valuable in all areas of life, from personal relationships to professional endeavors. As you practice four-dimensional thinking, you might find that your decision-making process becomes more nuanced and effective. You'll likely start considering factors that you might have overlooked before. This can lead to choices that are more aligned with your true values and long-term goals, rather than just short-term desires or external pressures. It's also worth considering how four-dimensional thinking can impact your interactions with others. When you're able to consider the long-term implications of your words and actions, you're more likely to communicate in ways that build and strengthen relationships over time. This can lead to deeper, more meaningful connections with the people in your life. In the realm of personal growth, four-dimensional thinking can be a powerful catalyst for change. It allows you to envision your ideal future self and work backwards to determine the steps you need to take to become that person. This approach can be much more effective than simply setting vague goals without considering the process of achieving them. When it comes to problem solving, four-dimensional thinking can offer fresh perspectives on old challenges. By considering how a problem might evolve over time, you can often find solutions that address not just the immediate issue, but potential future complications as well. This proactive approach can save you time, energy, and resources in the long run. In the professional world, four-dimensional thinking can set you apart as a visionary and strategic thinker. Employers and clients value individuals who can anticipate trends, plan for contingencies, and see the big picture. By developing this skill, you're making yourself an invaluable asset in any organization or industry. It's also worth noting that four-dimensional thinking isn't just beneficial on an individual level. It can have profound impacts on society as a whole. When more people start considering the long-term consequences of their actions, we can collectively make decisions that benefit not just ourselves, but future generations as well. This could lead to more sustainable practices, more thoughtful policymaking, and a generally more forward-thinking society. As you continue to explore and develop your four-dimensional thinking skills, remember that it's a gradual process. Don't get discouraged if you find it challenging at first. Like any new skill, It takes time and practice to master. Be patient with yourself and celebrate the small victories along the way. One effective way to reinforce your four-dimensional thinking is to regularly reflect on your experiences. Take time to consider how past decisions have influenced your current situation and how your current choices might shape your future. This reflection can help you refine your thinking and make even better decisions going forward. It can also be helpful to seek out examples of four-dimensional thinking in the world around you. Look for individuals, organizations, or movements that are taking a long-term, big-picture approach to challenges. Study their strategies and consider how you might apply similar principles in your own life. Remember, the goal of four-dimensional thinking isn't to predict the future with perfect accuracy. That's impossible. Instead, it's about expanding your perspective, considering multiple possibilities, and making choices that align with your values and long-term goals. It's about being proactive rather than reactive and taking control of your life's direction. As you become more adept at four-dimensional thinking, you may find that it becomes second nature. You'll naturally start considering the time dimension in your everyday thoughts and decisions. This can lead to a sense of clarity and purpose that permeates all aspects of your life. It's also important to remember that while four-dimensional thinking is a powerful tool, it's not the only tool in your mental toolkit. It works best when combined with other cognitive skills like critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and creative problem solving. The most effective thinkers are those who can flexibly apply different mental models depending on the situation. As we near the end of this exploration of four-dimensional thinking, let's take a moment to imagine the possibilities. Picture a world where more people are considering the long-term impacts of their actions, where decisions are made with careful consideration of future consequences, and where individuals feel empowered to actively shape their realities. This is the potential that four-dimensional thinking holds. So, what's your next step? How will you start incorporating four-dimensional thinking into your life? Perhaps you'll start with a small decision, considering its potential ripple effects into the future. Or maybe you'll take some time to visualize your ideal future and work backwards to plan the steps to get there. Whatever you choose, know that you're embarking on a journey of growth and empowerment. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to shape your future. By mastering the art of four-dimensional thinking, you're not just passive observers of your life, you're active creators of your reality. You have the power to make choices that will positively impact not just your immediate future, but the long-term trajectory of your life. As we conclude, we encourage you to keep exploring this concept. Discuss it with friends and family, apply it to different areas of your life, and see what insights and opportunities emerge. The journey of four-dimensional thinking is ongoing, and there's always more to discover. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of four-dimensional thinking. We hope you found it insightful and inspiring. Remember, the future is not something that just happens to you. It's something you actively create with every choice you make. So go forth, think in four dimensions, and shape your reality in amazing ways.